himself some work there.
And there are a few bits and pieces, patches-wise, around this racetrack at the moment. I've spotted quite a lot of cement dust here and there where there have been machines that have broken down, haven't quite cleaned up the track perfectly in place. You can just see a puff of dust off the track sometimes, and that's where they've been soaking up whatever slippery fluid there was on the track. So the riders have got to be aware of where that is as well.
So the number 7 Yamaha of Alistair Seeley tips it in there. Nice line from him. He's never won at the Northwest 200. He's had a second before. Looking good for him at the moment.
Gary Johnson, white line to white line in second place, being chased by the Kiwi. Here it is then, 78 Gary Johnson. Looks really, really good around this course today. Got to say, looks calm, looks collected, but he is using all of the road. Then it is the Kiwi. Yes, it is. It's the Scotsman behind him, Keith Moore in fourth place on the 24 bike. Just dropping off, I think, Ryan Farquhar a little bit now for this battle for fifth.
Yeah, Farquhar leads this pack here, number 3. Normally on the green Kawasaki's, but change of bike for this race.
Yeah, Michael Rudder's got a little bit of work to do as well. You would have expected Michael to have had that Ducati, the Northwest 200 Ducati Superstock machine, the 201 numbered machine, up there a little bit. As we drop down now towards York again on this third lap, cameraman at the ready.
Keith Moore gets through there nicely. He's been helped out by Johnny Ray this weekend.
Oh, Rutter's gone down. Rutter has just dumped it straight on his shoulder. Rutter has dropped John Hackett's Superstock bike. Well, disconsolately walks over it. And that curb protection did a fantastic job of protecting the bike. Just they lean the old rubber stuff up against the curb and it stops the riders hurting their shoulder. Let's take another look at it then. He just gets the front brake.
He's a little wide though, Keith. He's in a bit too hot, just off the kind of grippy line where the rubber's laid down and the 1098 goes down. That's an expensive crash. They're not a cheap motorcycle. But back at the front, this is still, look at it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of those guys all at it across the track. They've taken up the width of the track down. You cannot fit that many in there.
And you can't imagine the slipstream effect that's getting.
Guy Martin in the grass.
Guy Martin then is on the white line, in fact, over the white line and in the dirt. Number 9, Guy Martin, was up the inside on the brakes now. Guy Martin looking for a way past. How can you get 5 motorcycles side by side on a single track road? It's an absolutely incredible spectacular.
Doing 185 miles an hour and all trying to get to the front. Guy Martin really on it. In fact, Guy Martin has now set the fastest lap, and that's a new lap record for number 9, Guy Martin.
Gary Johnson shuffled back behind him, and you can see why Guy Martin is absolutely on the pace at the moment. So, we have got a proper Superstock race here at the moment as they head now down towards Mathers Cross, the domain of the brave, as it will be. And looking down on, look at the slipstream effect of these motorcycles. Not because one bike is much quicker than the other, it's because of the massive hole in the air that the front bike is actually punching through, and everyone else is trying to slip in it. 2 relentless Suzukis stuck together now at the front.
Just incredible when you're on board. And at this point here, we're on board with Alistair Seeley. The revs start going up when you're in that slipstream. But now the out-braking manoeuvres are going on. That's Bruce Anstey gone out in front there. Cameron Donald in front of us.
Macroboy chicane then. It's Anstey from Cameron Donald, the relentless by Taz Suzuki's. It is, as I said earlier on, the most successful team in the history of the Northwest 200, the Hector and Philip Neal run team, and they are 1 and 2 and fighting side by side into the braking area of Metropolitan. Oh, I tell you what, his mountain biking does him a lot of good because he's got that rear wheel more in the air than he has on the ground. I'm talking about the Kiwi there.
Yeah, the man that won 3 races last year. Kenny
disaster.
Number 35, that's Trevor Ferguson out.
Trevor Ferguson with a blown motor. Don't often see that in Superstock, guys. Oh! Wiped the rear end of that motorcycle. That was Alistair Seeley making a go back on the 7 bike, getting under Cameron Donald. Still out front is Bruce Anstey. Remember when he came here and won this race as a newcomer? He won the Newcomers Award going back a few years now when he first came over here in the Superstock class. Bruce Anstey loves this style of racing, loves this motorcycle, but Alistair Seeley, well, he had a hat-trick last year, of course, Bruce Anstey. I think Alistair Seeley isn't going to allow him to have one this year.
No, I don't think he is, because can you pass here? Oh, he's done it. He's squeezed in.
And the yellow flags were waving there, I think, as well. I'm sure I saw a yellow flag waving there, and if it was the case, Alistair Seeley could find himself in a little bit of trouble.
I can't see any problem on the track, and it's always difficult for riders. They're focusing on what's going on in front of them and not looking to the side. But anyway, we'll find out about that a little bit later on. But Bruce Anstey tears down the hill in 2nd place. His teammate Cameron Donald right behind him. Into the York hairpin again, the place where Rutter slipped over, and he was out wide. And I have to say, Cameron Donald was out as wide as where Rutter was. But Rutter, you can see that big patch there of cement dust as well on the inside of the track. So bit of shenanigans been going on down at York Corner during the course of the weekend. Still Seeley out front on the JMF bike.
still the two Relentless Suzukis.
Seeley really taking some defensive lines into York corner. I saw him holding that nice tight line. He didn't want those Relentless bikes coming past him.
And Guy Martin, the man who stuck that fastest lap and of course the new lap record for the Superstock class in, is still in 4th place. But we're now coming up to the area of the track where we saw him running down the other side of the white line through Station Corner. They wheelie towards Station Corner now, drop it in. How close is that? At some 160 miles an hour they round that corner at. It's an absolutely fantastic turn, frightening on a motorcycle, unbelievable.
Yeah, and Bruce Anstey was the brave one there as he slammed it down the inside, but Alistair Seeley now on the left side as Anstey's front wheel comes up in the air. You have to be careful and just try and touch the back brake because the wind gets underneath the fairing.
Just wait for a moment though, because we're going to have the charge of the heavy brigade as Guy Martin again looks one side, then he looks the other side of the Relentless Suzuki, but it is still Bruce Anstey that's out front. Here's Alistair Seeley, he leads as we break down then into, well, I'm amazed he managed to hang on to that lead. Oh, Gary Johnson, surely he's going up the slip road. He's out of the seat. He looked like a horse rider. Incredible.
Look at this, and Guy Martin comes back number 9. No, he doesn't, because Cameron Donald's right in the way. Through the roundabout, the wrong way round, knees firmly on the ground. This is short circuit scratching now as they flick it right now and then try to get back in the slipstream up towards Mathers Cross, but it's still Alistair Seeley with about 4 bike lengths lead.
78, Gary Johnson is in 4th place, just in front of former race leader 24, Keith Moore, the Scot, but it's side by side again. Seeley looking for the slipstream of the two Relentless Suzukis in front of him. Seeley will be trying to find that hole, but not here at Mathers Cross. He'll get good run through here though and slip in behind and puff of dust off the side of the track. They are right edge to edge, and that's the reason why. Carried that corner speed onto the straight, gives you that little bit extra impetus down the straight. And here comes Seeley, big slipstream now from one Relentless Suzuki. Oh,
squeeze!
Gets his nose wiped into the turn. Now we're into the breaking point of the Macroboy chicane, and that's one of the last passing places on the track on this last lap. Very few opportunities left, Steve.
No, off we go down towards the Metropole corner, and it's really bumpy along here. I rode the Northwest Ducati here earlier in the week, and you're jumping and bouncing, trying to keep your head underneath the screen. If you can get into the Metropole really fast, you can sometimes stretch out a bit of a lead for this final section.
Also, though, it's a place where you can go straight on if you get it wrong because of those bumps you're talking about. Tipping in, Relentless Suzuki from JMF Yamaha. Great stuff. They've managed to keep it clean and tidy. Next stop is Church on the brakes now, the right-hander, and then it's up the bridge, under the bridge, I should say, maybe up the bridge if you get it wrong, and onto the coast road over Black Hill. This is going to be dramatic when we get to the next set of chicanes.
On board still with Alistair Seeley, and he's very, very much in touch. In fact, no one's out of touch for that matter. Look at them, they go through there. Any one of these guys could win the race. It's just about getting in the slipstream. Now we're still on a very fast section, up into 5th gear. Listen to that engine screaming.
6 Cameron Donald lead from his teammate Bruce Anstey. It's the two Suzuki boys that are doing it, but Alistair Seeley's closing. Alistair Seeley's underneath him. When Bruce Anstey's gone through on Cameron Donald and Alistair Seeley's followed through. Alistair Seeley! Oh! Bruce Anstey has gone over the hump and stayed on. Alistair Seeley has gone off the track and stayed on. 2 men battling in this Superstock race. It doesn't get any better or more dramatic than that. Alistair Seeley then on the JMF Team Millsport Racing Yamaha with all those memories of Tandragee earlier in the year, takes the win. It is a fine win for Alistair Seeley, a dramatic win for Alistair Seeley. Bruce Anstey has been outdone, having taken to the bank. No doubt his mountain biking came in handy in that particular manoeuvre. Take a look at this, Steve.
Look at this. Anstey gets in too hot, too fast, over the top of the grass, but he holds up his teammate. Luckily there for Seeley, he gets away, and Bruce Anstey did a great job of blocking it.
Even Seeley was on the dirt, but a win then for this man. Bruce Anstey gets 2nd place from Cameron Donald. Guy Martin, a lap record, and 4th place. Keith Moore, Ryan Farquhar and Gary Johnson complete the leaderboard.
Unbelievable, you know. Coming in that last lap, these 2000 boys were battling all the way, and I was strong out of Black Hill, you know. I got Cameron the lap before, and I've been very good in the brakes all since Tuesday, Thursday. I worked on my braking, picked my markers, and used them to good effect today.
I just tried my hardest. I actually got a bit more of a slipstream off Cameron than what I thought, so just a fraction of a second quicker into the bitty chicane. I just couldn't quite make it, so I had to go onto the grass, and that was it.
Well, the next race is the 125cc. On the front row, Mark Curtin, and it's his very last road race before he heads to Australia. Alongside him, is David Lemon, and the man in pole position, Englishman Michael Wilcox, who's never won a race at the Northwest 200, and he's been trying for such a long time.